Welcome everyone again. Welcome to ProMinds Academy. Happy to see everyone here today. Today we are still in the continuation of our previous, the topic we have been talking about since last week. So, which is the investment appraiser. So, we are gonna look into the net present value, the net cash flow, and the discounted cash flow today. So our presenter for today is T. Yudia Baby. So just for the record, this project is not related to cash flow or miracle cash more. It's a personal project. So without wasting any of our time, so Yodi, please take over. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Ken. Happy Monday to you all, and welcome back again for the second session of Investment Appraisal. As Ken mentioned, we're going to look at today DCF. Also, we have on the screen, if you see APR or average return of rate of return and payback period, and also he mentioned the net cash flow and also the net present value. We're going to look at as we go through the slides. I hope you guys will enjoy this. So let's look at the payback period. So this slide today I prepared actually to make it more easier than the other one because I understood maybe I went so fast and nothing was clear. So I'll try today to make it more clear for you guys and make it easier that you can, if you guys are with a calculator, good calculator, phone sometimes it gives you different results. So we're gonna do some calculation and as we go. So the payback period is the time it takes for the project, which is to pay back initial outlay or your initial investment, right? So we're gonna see one example that we prepared here. For example, if a project costs £20,000 and the net cash flow generated by the projects are $10,000 each year. So net cash flow, let's look at net cash flow. So if you guys are confused what's net cash flow is you actually take the difference between cash inflow and cash outflow, what you receive and what you spend. So the difference between that called net cash flow. So net cash flow generated by the project are $10,000 each year. The project cost will be covered after 2 years, so that the payback periods will be 2 years. So as you see here, if you invest on a project £20,000 or dollar, and the net cash flow is in each year it's $10,000, it's easy, which is you're gonna pay back of your investment in 2 years. So when there are numbers of a different investment options for a business, payback period method will select one that return the initial cost of investment in the short time frame. In the other words, this the amount of taken for the net cash flow resulting from an investment to match or equal the initial cost of the investment. For instance, like if you are a person that you want to invest on something and you want to pay back or the return in a short time period, you can actually use the payback period method and you can calculate your investment. So how long it takes you to get back what you invested. So there's also another example here, worked example. A business is comparing two alternative capital investment projects that will help you to achieve its objective of increasing productive efficiency. So both involves updating machinery, and the first option is it will cost you £90,000 or dollar, and the second one will cost you $110,000 or pound. The expected net cash flow. So we are gonna compare here the net cash flow, which is net cash flow, as I said, is cash in minus cash out. The difference between that is net cash flow. So we're comparing the scenario that you invest in £90,000 and the scenario that you invest in £110,000 pound or dollar. So on the first year, on the 90,000 investment, you will get 20,000, and on 110, you will get 10,000. And in the second year, as you see, you get 30,000 for the 90,000 investment, and on the second year for 110 1,000 investment, you will get 20,000. So as you see here, it goes like for 5 years, how each investment are paying back. So let's see why we are comparing these two options. Remember that with the payback period, the project that is selected is one that repays the initial outlay first. So we are comparing which investment pays first, the 90,000 investment or 110,000 investment. To calculate the payback period for each investment, we add the cumulative cash flow figures to the table as shown. So as you see here, we are adding it. So there is 0. So just imagine that there is in this previous, it's 0 year. So the 0 plus 20,000, it gives you 20,000. Then you are adding 20,000 plus 30,000, it gives you 50,000. Then as we go, you are adding all this till 30 year, it gives you 90,000. And you're coming here adding from 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 20,000 gives you 110. And you add all 5 years, it gives you 130. And in the 110,000 investment scenario, when you add it, like there's 0 year here, imagine that they see here 0, so 0 plus 10,000 is 10,000, then you add the two of them, it gives you 30,000. Then as you go to the third year, you add all the 3 years and gives you 70,000. Then you add all 4 years, it gives you 130, and here all the 5 years, it gives you 180. So we can see that the option 1, the 90,000 cost equals the cumulative cash flow at the end of year 3, so that the project has payback period of 3 years. So when you see that in the third year on the 90,000 investment, we already pay back what we invested, we got it back. So here is the first option we are comparing. Then we have also the second scenario here. Then on the option 2, the NAN of cumulative total exactly equals the initial investment. Then the payback period is therefore not an exact amount of years, but instead years and months. So we are paying here, as you see, on the third year, exactly the third year, we're getting back what we invested on the third year, exact third year. Then here, when you come to what we invest is 110,000, then here is we are on the fourth year. So we can say 3 years and 8 months. We will see it on the next slide. 3 years and 8 months. It took us 8 months more to get what we invested initially. Okay. So then let's see here. Okay. Next slide. Yes. Payback all occurs between 3 and 4 years for 110,000. So as I said, it falls on the 70 and 130. So this money falls in between the third year and fourth year. So that's why we said it will take us 3 years and 8 months, as here we are calculating. So let's go through it. Take the total cumulative cash flow figures for the earlier year of these 2 years and take it away from the initial cost of the investment. The figure remaining is the balance of the initial investment that is paid back during this final year. So we take as this slide recommended, the initial of investment, which is 110,000, minus then the second year payback, which is 70,000, we get the difference 40,000. Then find the monthly cash flow for the final year and divide the cash flow for the year by 12. So here is the monthly cash flow as we take in is this. It is 60,000. Then we divide it by 12. So each year is like 5,000. Then here, when we have this monthly cash flow figure, we divide it into the balance remaining to be paid back during this year. So then we have 40,000 here. We divide it by the 5,000 that we got, which is the first year, and divided by here. So it gives us 8, which means 8. So that's how we got the 3 years and 8 months payback for 110,000 investments. So in this example, for instance, what will you choose? The short payment or the long payback? Which one? We're gonna see that. So the payback period for option 1 is 3 years, and the payback period for the option 2 is 3 years and 8 months. Option 1 would be chosen as it has shortest payback time. However, if you look at the total cumulative cash flow at the end of 5 years, then option 2 gives the higher return. This one drawback within this method of investment appraisal. So as you see that, for those of you that you look at investment, you say that, oh my God, yes, this has shortest payback time. Yes, it has shortest payback time, but which one gives you more money than, like the shortest time period? For instance, when we compare the 90,000 and the 110,000 investment, yes, the 90,000 has shortest payback, but when you cumulate the cash flow at the end of the 5 year, option 2 gives us a higher return. So let's see the advantage of using payback period and disadvantage of payback period. So the advantage of using payback period is, the first thing is simple to use. Second, easy to calculate. Of course, anyone can do this because it's simple calculation. Then we have effective to use when technology is changing at a fast rate, such as high-tech project, in order to recover the cost of investment as quick as possible and help us with managed cash flow. Then the disadvantage is on payback period is ignore flows of cash over the lifetime of the project and ignores total profitability. The focus is just on the speed of which the initial outlay is repaid. So on this advantage, we can say, yes, it ignores the flows of cash, which means over time on our investment, today, if we invest 5,000, tomorrow, it doesn't mean that we put 5,000, that the value of that money already reduced because of depreciation of currency, inflation. A lot of these things affect that investment. So on a payback period, it doesn't include the inflation percentage or any flow of time that, that actually affects your investment. So because it just takes the cumulative of cash flow, and it doesn't include any scenario like risk and those things I mentioned, which is like depreciation and inflation. So it ignores that. So that's the disadvantage of using the payback period for your investment appraisal calculation. Okay, then we look at average rate of return. So just so I know that if you guys are engaging, can you drop 1 if you guys are understanding what I'm saying or teaching here? Drop 1 so I know. Okay, good. I get 2 ones. 3, 4. Okay, we're good. We can move. Thank you, guys. So on average rate of return, the average rate of return matrix measures the average net return every year with the cost of the investment. The ARR is expressed as a percentage, allowing for a straightforward comparison between investment options. So the option or the project that has the highest average return of the return is chosen. So we have here also another example, which is we are taking the same scenario of the 90,000 investment and 110,000 investment. So we have here the 90,000 investment. So this is the same way that we did as the previous payback period method. Then let's go to the next option. So the stage 2 demonstrates how to calculate the ARR. So calculate the total cumulative of cash flow, which is we did for the 90,000, we get 130,000, and for 110,000 investment, we get the cumulative of 180,000. So this is option 1 and option 2. Then take away the initial investment of the initial cost of investment from the net cash flow total. So what we did is, this is what we invested initially. That's why it is negative, because we put it's cash, we invested. So anything that you invest, the equity is always negative. So the cumulative minus the initial investment, this is the cumulative we got at the end of the adding all cash flows. Then we minus it with the initial investment. So we got 40,000. Same thing for the second scenario, which is 110,000 investment, the cumulative minus the initial investment. So we get 70,000. Then stage 2, what we're going to do is calculate the average profit per annum by dividing the figures in the stage 1 by the number of the year and the project runs for. So option 1 gives us here 40,000. That what we're going to do is 40,000 divided by the 5, which is the year. It gives us 8,000. And for the option 2, it gives us 14,000. Then stage 3, divided the average net cash flow per annum by the initial cost of the project and multiply by 100. So what we're gonna do is then we take the net cash flow and we actually per annum by the initial investment. Then we have divided by the initial investment and times it by 100 because we're gonna put the IRR in a percentage. So as we see that here, let's go back. Here on the stage 2, we got 80,000 for option 1, and on option 2, we got 14,000. So then we go 8,000 divided by the initial investment times 100, and we get 8.8%. And for option 2, we had 40,000 divided by 100, 110,000 times 100, so we got 12.72%. So then why we will choose the 12.72%? Because we say that we always choose the higher ARR in any investment. So the second one had higher average return, so we take the option 2 as investment for us, even though if it had long payback. Yeah, we know already this one has the shortest payback, but on ARR it choose the second option. So in addition to using the ARR to compare capital investment options, ARR can be also used to compare with keeping the money in the bank and comparing against interest rate. So what are we doing here is that you are comparing actually, should I keep it in the bank or should I invest it? So ARR gonna tell you that answer when you do your calculation. In the example above, it's unlikely that the interest rate offered by a bank would be anywhere near 12.72%. However, if the IRR was around 1 up to 4%, then it might be wiser to keep the money in the bank, because if your ARR was smaller, so it would be in the bank interest rate was 12.72%, it will be for you wiser to keep it in the bank rather than investing it. So we're gonna look again advantage of using ARR and disadvantage of using ARR. So the advantage is shows the profitability of the option or project and includes all the project's cash flow, easy to compare different projects, allow comparison with the cost of borrowing for investment. And the disadvantages, again, it ignores the timing of cash flow and does not allow for the effects of inflation on the value of future cash flow. Still, ARR doesn't include inflation on the calculation, so that's the disadvantage. Then we go to DCF, discounted cash flow. So on the discounted cash flow method of investment appraisal takes into account the time value of money. What do you invest today? 5,000. What will worth tomorrow? That means the realization that the value of money change over time. So let's say, for instance, the $100 yesterday, it's not the same as today. It's different. So we're calculating on this year, mostly it's the value of money changing over time. The discount cash flow method calculates the net present value of alternative options project. Then the net present value is the value of future money if you had it now, or takes it into account inflation and the potential of earning interest on the investment capital or cost of finance on raising investment capital. In other words, money in the future is worth less than same amount today. We're going to do another example here. So we have the same scenario, the 90,000 and the 110,000. We did already the payback period. You guys all know it here. So let's go back to the discount factor. So a discount factor is given, which based on a bank interest, they are normally given into the tables to show how much future value will be discounted to its present value. So today, like for instance, if the bank interest, mostly we choose the discount factor, we maybe on the DCF they call it WACC, it is WACCE, sorry. So we choose that discount factor based on the bank interest rate. So these are normally given in the tables to show. You calculate it most of the time, but most of the time when you do your discount cash flow, the discount factor or the WACC is given, the rate is given for you, and you take that based on the bank interest rate. These are normally given in tables to show how much future value will be discounted to give its present value. Then the future into the future, the earning goal, the lower, and the discount factor will be. And the table below shows that the discount factors over 5 years. So what we are doing is we are taking the net cash flow here, 5% of each. So that's what we are getting this. I will also show you another example on DCF, how we are going to calculate it. I have another spreadsheet. To apply the discount factor to the two possibility option, we need to use the net cash flow. So what we're going to do is we always use the net cash flow to find the discount cash flow, which I'm going to show you in another spreadsheet. So let me open the other spreadsheet for you guys so you can also maybe understand more. Okay, let's look at the scenario before that. Okay, multiply the cash flow for each year's with, by discount factor. Again, it's better to go to that slide. Yes, I have it here. Okay, let's look at here. So we were talking about net cash flow, right? So net cash flow, as I said before, it is the difference between cash outflow and cash in. So what we spend, what we receive, and what we spent. So that difference called net cash flow. So here we have a net cash flow. As I said before, the discount rate always given. Here we have 10% discount rate. And also we have operating cost here. So we asked to do the discount net cash flow here. So how are we going to do it? And it's using the net cash flow already. So on the first year, which is not first year, the 0 year, this is our investment we did for tannery product, which is minus 2.35. Why we say minus is because you put it on the business. So it's negative. So on the 0 year, it's going to be the DCF is going to be the same, which is 2.35. You cannot put on the DCF a negative value. That's why even the Excel file, if you do the format of the discount cash flow on Excel, doesn't accept even negative for discounted net cash flow. Then on the first year, we take 1.56. So the formula for discounted cash flow is net cash flow or cash flow divided by 1 plus R and time, which is if it's for the first year, you power it by 1. If it is for second year, you power it by 2. So which means, for instance, let me show you guys here how I am saying here. We have 1.56, right? So divided by, this is divided. So 1 plus, sorry, my plus is, 1 plus, then we have the discount rate here, 10%. 10% here, so which means 0.1, right? 0.1. If I'm doing mistake, guys, tell me. Then the power of 1. But if you power it here, it's gonna just be the same number. So when you do this, if you guys have a calculator near you, calculate it, and it's gonna give you 1.42. Then on the second year, here we have 160, right? So we put instead for the second year, when we calculate, it is, let's put 1.6 or 1.60 is the same thing. So let's do, and 1 plus 0.1, the power of 2. You need to put this in the brackets if you have calculator. Yeah. Then power, actually, not just times 2. Power, so I put it like this, but make sure that it's power, so you get the result of 1.32. Actually, this is, if you see it, it's actually approximate. We took the approximate number, which is 1.32, but you're gonna get this number. So this number divided by 1, because 1 is given already. So in the discount cash flow formula is cash flow divided by 1 plus R, the power of of time. This is the formula. So that's what we are doing this way. So for the second year, the net cash flow or the cash flow is 1.60 divided by 1 plus 0.1, then the power of 2. What if we do for the third year, which is we will put 1.65 here plus, divided by 1.1 plus 0.1. Where did we get the 0.1? The 0.1 is given already, which means the 10%, then the power of 3. We're going to do the power of 3 because we're doing for the third year. Then we're going to do also the same thing for the fourth year, fifth year. So that's how we get the discounted cash flow on this table. Let me see if you guys, if this is clear, drop 1 in the chat. So I know I am very clear about this. Drop 1 in the chat. Okay, let me see. Okay, great. Thank you guys for following. So this is how we're gonna calculate the discounted cash flow. So here also we have, I don't want to talk about the others because it's not on our today's topic. I just want to go with the topics and I don't want to confuse you guys. But we have also different method on the investment like appraisal. It's not only DCF that we can use. As you see, we have payback period, we have DCF, we have also ARR. We have also IRR, as you see here. We will do the IRR for next time, and we will rank the project. Which one should we use? Which one should we, choose? So for today, I don't want to make it really a lot of information today. I will stop here, but I will open the chat or the stage for discussion. If you guys want to contribute, please feel free.
This is the time to ask questions before we move on to, to another stage. So if you are confused about any of the formulas, or if you have any question at all, so you can ask.
Okay, I have a question. So is it an advantage then if we use the DCF in our decision making, if we have an opportunity to invest our shares this way, or any investment?
Yes, you can actually use it, but the thing is, this is actually you're measuring your investment, right? By inputting the different scenario, the risk, any scenario, inflation, anything, right? So this is how you do it for your own investment. If what you invest today and what you're getting tomorrow, is that worth it? Is your investment is worth it?
Yep.
That's why you use the DCF.
Yes. Very cool.
Okay. Anyone? Please, guys, let's participate, because if we're the only people talking here, it's not gonna be nice.
I think you're doing great. I don't have any questions, but you're doing great, I think.
Okay. So it's clear, right, how we simply compare the 90,000 investment and the 110,000 investment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's clear. I think it's clear. It's definitely. I'm not an accountant. I'm just basically, but I actually followed what you said, and I think because the recording is available, It pays to watch it over and over if others aren't understanding what's happening here.
Yeah.
But it gives, certainly is great for us to have now, because we can actually use this formula to work out future investments.
Yes, that's true. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the times, like most people forget about, inflation, for instance, in a country when you invest your money. So we all need to check, for instance, inflation percentage. What's the inflation in there? If, like, even when you take a loan, if the inflation tomorrow is predicted for 25%, like plus your interest rate, it's going to be like too much. So let's say, for instance, the real interest rate is 5% and we have inflation as 25%. So you're going to add actually the two of it to see what you're going to pay tomorrow. So if you borrowed, for instance, today $2,500 and you want to finance your project with the 2,500, you think today you think it's enough for tomorrow, but you don't know if it is enough, because tomorrow's money will be affected by inflation, depreciation, different effects. So you need to consider all the scenarios. Is this money enough to finance my project also? Because today, if you get like 100,000, it doesn't mean it will finance tomorrow, because tomorrow will be another price on your project. So you might even need more cash to, finance your projects as well.
Absolutely. And over a period of, 3 to 5 years, that could be quite extensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inflation is the boogeyman that we need
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
And taxes.
Yeah, and taxes, true. On top of that, there is tax as well.
Yeah. You're doing great.
Thank you, French. Anyone more, Atima? I would like to hear from you guys as well.
Jordi, I think it's absolutely brilliant. You've explained it so well, and this kind of information you don't just pick up. So it's really great to have it explained here, because I think without really doing your own research or doing a course, I wouldn't know this. So this is really, really great. Thank you.
Thank you, Maura. Thank you so much.
I'm actually surprised there are not that many people here, even though finance is generally very boring, but it's one of those things you cannot afford not to know. It's actually very expensive not to know this stuff.
Yeah, true. I mean, for me, this is what I like. I like playing with numbers. I don't like history. I don't like history. Yeah, but it's also depending on the people. Some people find it very important. Some people don't find it very important. But I think it goes on our life, and it's important to know what's happening in the world, because each price, each inflation, each country situation affects everybody's income or anything.
Even when you're listening to the typical afternoon news, and then you get your talking heads on TV talking about the inflation adjustment, and they're talking in fancy terms and basically talking over people's heads. It's all intentional to basically just putting a lot of facade and not giving people the right information. If you know what's happening here, at least you can have an idea what those talking heads are talking about when they are really talking a lot and saying nothing.
True.
I'm amazed, Jordi, that you've helped me understand without me doing a big course.
I'm glad we'll be continuing as well, because the thing is, we need to get like the basics, for instance, we really
Good evening. I would like to contribute a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Thank you, Yordi. This is an amazing presentation, and I love to always put in, what can we do with this kind of information and put it in a daily basis? How is it impacting us? And I will take example, retirement, 401k, whatever you have that you have been putting money toward it for future needs. Inflation is eating it up, and this is a wonderful formula that you can really apply to yourself and then to your children and to every single part of our financial life. Because if you have a baby today and then you have 18 years to put money on the side for university purpose, the DCF, this formula can help us literally, try to project that in 18 years down the road. Because yes, absolutely, inflation is something that really eat up our money. And elderly people are facing the situation where they age out and retirement time coming. You have the money that they told you you're going to get, but 30 years ago, what 2000 could have done for you, today you cannot basically, have your little food that you need in a daily basis. So I really love the formula, and this is how we can use it really in a personal level, and then business wise. I mean, it's amazing how many ways we can use this DCF formula and to just help us face our financial needs. So thank you so much. It was an amazing presentation, as always.
Thank you, Tima, for your contribution. We really, really appreciate it. Anyone who is in? Okay, let's see. Evelyn, let me recall random. We want contribution or ideas. You guys like it? Do you guys understand? Also, Maria. Feel free.
Hello, thank you. I just love to listen in, and I take a lot of notes, and I've only missed one, I think. So it's been really helpful with all these different ones each week. It was really helpful, this one. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. How about you, Ken? Do you like it? Let me ask Ken then.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. So I think the most important thing is just to make sure and to know how to apply those formulas to any investment. And that's why this slide, we're gonna share the slide, right?
Yeah, we're gonna share. We always say that, but I have sorry. If you guys reach out to me like French did, you already send it to me, and I will remember to send it to you guys.
Yeah, good. So it's very important to know how to apply those formulas, and if you are confused, you have to just go through the slide, find the meaning of those formulas, and apply it accordingly. So it's gonna really help you to make a better decision on maybe this investment is gonna do well or not, and if you have to proceed or not. So this is just the logic behind it. So thanks one more time, Yodi. Great job.
Thank you, Ken. So if we don't have any contributions, so we'll end today's call here. Thank you so much for you guys attending your contribution. For next week, we'll come with different topic. Well, maybe we'll decide to continue. And if you guys have any suggestion, which topic do you guys want me to present to you? We're really happy to hear it. I wish you all a good day or a good night for those of you who are in the Europe, like Mora, myself. See you guys next week.